Hello guys, and welcome to episode 26 of Dolphins Daily, and today the Miami Dolphins will take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who are currently 0-4 on the year. And in the offseason, once Darius Newman became the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, the Dolphins ultimately had to fire coach Adam Gase, and Adam Gase now coaches for the Cincinnati Bengals. Although they have a poor record to start, they would like to get a win against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins will need to play at their best to beat their former head coach. We're going to head down to the field now to get the area of focus. The first area of focus for the Miami Dolphins is to keep their emotions in check. Playing against your former head coach, you want to make sure you get the win and you want to upstand them. So the Dolphins got to keep their emotions under control and play like they usually play. They currently are unbeaten in the AFC and in the NFL as well, and so just keep their emotions in check. The second area of focus for the Miami Dolphins is that the safeties must communicate. The Bengals have one of the top receivers in the league in AJ Green, and so most of the times he's going to be heading deep, and there needs to be communication between the safeties, between themselves and the cornerbacks. The last area of focus for the Miami Dolphins is that they need to drain this Bengals defense. The more that defense is out on the field, the higher probability the Miami Dolphins will have to score, and that defense will be tired as well. A key player the Miami Dolphins will have to watch out for is receiver AJ Green, 6'4", 210 pounds, 18 receptions, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns on the year, and he is having himself an average season at best so far. Out onto the field first for offense is the Cincinnati Bengals. Their quarterback, Red Rifle Andy Dalton, who is a veteran and has begun the season not too well. 58 out of 104 completions, 721 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Dalton is most definitely looking for his first win here against the Miami. Introducing the Cincinnati Bengals offense. No one really jumps off the paper for this team except for AJ Green, and the Dolphins will most definitely have their handful with him today. Tyler Eifert is another guy the Dolphins may have to watch out for, but we will see later in this game. On a 3rd and 6, that pass is completed to Tyler Eifert over the Dolphins logo, and that puts them into Dolphins territory at the 45-yard line. 1st and 10, Giovanni Bernard out of North Carolina makes a couple sifty moves to pick up about 8 yards there. Single back formation, 2nd and 2 from the 37-yard line. Dalton completes a pass over the middle to Tyler Eifert over Minkah Fitzpatrick. Dalton 3 for 3 with 36 yards. Quick start by the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Another play action here. Dalton rolling out to his right and finds Stites out of the backfield, who is a tight end, and he gets into the end zone here. And that is a quick 7 points for the Cincinnati Bengals. And that is Stites' first career reception touchdown. Dolphins will receive the ball back but do nothing with it, and so they have to punt it again. Screen pass here by Andy Dalton, and that screen pass goes nowhere. Andy Dalton 6 for 6 on the day. Shotgun formation for Dalton. Dalton scanning the field, looking for a receiver. The protection is holding up nice. Dalton looking to go deep, and that is caught by Tyler Boyd inside the 5-yard line with 6:15 remaining in the first quarter. On a 3rd and goal. Dalton, shotgun formation, scanning the field, looking for a receiver, and that one is broken up by Minkah Fitzpatrick, who almost picked that one off. Great awareness by the second-year player out of Alabama, and the Cincinnati Bengals will have to kick a field goal here. The kick is up, and the kick is good. The Dolphins do not have a blocked field goal all year, and hopefully they could get one this game. Introducing the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Carlos Dunlap and Carl Lawson are the 2 ends the Miami Dolphins will really have to watch out for, because those ends are going to come with a great pressure of pass rush and run defense as well. Sean Williams is another guy the Dolphins will have to watch out for in the secondary. On a 3rd and 8, Tannehill in the pocket finds Danny Amendola, but it's just shy of the marker, and the Dolphins will have to punt the ball. Bengals on the 4th and 4 will punt the ball away from the 30-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. That punt is way back, and that is Jakeem Grant to return it, falling into the end zone and barely makes it past the 5-yard line to the 8-yard line. A horrible job by Jakeem Grant there. That ball probably would have rolled into the end zone there. Now it's the 2nd and 9. Tannehill looking for Kenny Stills as he is slightly open, but overthrows him there, and the Dolphins will be faced with a 3rd and 9 from the 9-yard line. Shotgun formation for Ryan Tannehill. Devontae Parker on the outside. Tannehill with the snap. That one is broken up, intended for Devontae Parker on the outside as he ran a nice out route, but it is broken up by Coleman, and that is going to end out the first quarter between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. The Bengals have a 10-point lead while the Dolphins haven't even scored a point yet. The Dolphins need to have something here together in the second quarter. Picking up in the second quarter now. 3rd and 12 for the Miami Dolphins. Shotgun formation. Tannehill with the snap. Looking for a receiver, but goes down. He is taken out in the backfield, and that is the first sack for the Bengals today. The Dolphins will have to punt the ball on a 4th and 16. Matt Hawk is your punter here, and that punt will land inside the 5-yard line, bouncing and rolling down to the 1-yard line, and that is Tony Lepet there to stop it from going into the end zone. Cincinnati with their backs against the wall at the 1-yard line, pistol formation. Dalton with the snap, handoff to Giovanni Bernard, but he is stuffed in the backfield, and that will result in a safety for the Miami Dolphins. The game now is an 8-point lead, where the Cincinnati Bengals lead 10-2. Finally, the Miami Dolphins are able to get some points up on the board, and let's see if they could get some points here on this drive. Single back formation, Ryan Tannehill, play action rollout. That pass is thrown deep to Kenny Stills, and it is caught into Bengals territory, tackled by Sean Williams there. Ryan Tannehill 6 for 10, 69 yards. 3rd and 12. Tannehill stepping to his left, being chased by a defensive lineman from behind, and he is going to try and strip that one out, but Tannehill is down at the 5-yard line, and the Miami Dolphins will call up upon the field goal unit from the 5-yard line. A 22-yard field goal attempt for Hauska, and that one will trim the lead down to 5 points. Although the Miami Dolphins aren't able to get into the end zone, they do at least put points up on the board. Ball back to the Cincinnati Bengals now. That pass is caught by John Ross, and no one could catch him from behind, and John Ross is going to head right into the end zone for another touchdown for the Cincinnati Bengals. A 75-yard touchdown on the day, and the Bengals now increase their lead 17-5 now. With 6:40 left in the first half, Tannehill, empty backfield, looking for a receiver. That one completed over the middle to Devontae Parker as he is tackled at the 44-yard line. Dolphins absolutely have to answer here with a field goal or at least a touchdown. Tannehill with the snap again, rolling out to his left, has been pressured all day, and he's trying to get out of bounds, and he does to the 39-yard line. 3 rushes for 13 yards. Now play action. Ryan Tannehill looking for a receiver. Still doesn't find one, but connects with Adonis Glover here towards the sideline. An amazing dive catch by Glover, and he has been a great draft pick for the Miami Dolphins. Blocking and catching. Handoff to Kane Drake now. Makes a move and power his way for about 8 yards there to the 10-yard line. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Shotgun formation for the Miami Dolphins. Danny Amendola in the slot. Kane Drake gets the handoff, and he gets a first down there, picking about 2 to 3 yards. 8 rushes for 53 yards on the day. 3rd and goal for the Miami Dolphins from the 3-yard line. Tannehill is tackled in the backfield, and that is a sack, and the Cincinnati Bengals will call a timeout to preserve some time on that clock. The Miami Dolphins will now have to attempt another field goal, and the game now sits 17-8 with 1:53 remaining in the first half. The Dolphins are able to get the ball back after the Cincinnati Bengals go 3 and out. Play action rollout to the right. Ryan Tannehill looking for a receiver and finds the Gesicki past the first down marker, and he is out of bounds at the 44-yard line with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Tannehill and this Miami Dolphins offense in shotgun formation. Tannehill looking for a receiver. That one is caught by Danny Amendola in the Bengals territory, but a flag is on the play, and that looked like a clear face mask there. And we're going to go down to the field to get the ruling. Face mask on the Cincinnati Bengals. Dolphins now in red zone territory. Tannehill rolling out to his right. They have no timeouts. Tannehill trying to get out of bounds, and he barely does as he runs out of energy there. 6 rushes for 24 yards. 13 seconds for the Miami Dolphins to try and score here. They cannot keep this ball in bounds. A touchdown is the first thing they want, and the last thing they want there happens, and Tannehill goes down from a sack, and we're going to see if they could get the ball off in time to get a spike to run one more play, and they do not, and that is going to end out the first half for the Miami Dolphins. A disappointing way to end the first half, to say the least. They were in field goal range, in red zone range, and they unfortunately couldn't get any points up on the board. Got to do a better job of time management there. A disappointing first half for the Miami Dolphins. Although they've held the Bengals to only 13 rushing yards, they are still down. Now we're going to take a look from the scores from around the league. The Los Angeles Rams are one of the few undefeated teams in the NFL, and they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 42-24. In a Monday night matchup, the Patriots barely beat the New York Giants 24-20. Now let's get back into the second half between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have the ball to begin with. That is a handoff to Kane Drake in between the guards, and that run will go nowhere. And on a 3rd and 21, Tannehill scanning the field, looking for a receiver, thrown deep to Devontae Parker, and he makes the catch to the 36-yard line, and the Dolphins are in field goal range for Steven Hauska. Single back formation for the Miami Dolphins now. Kalen Balaz is your running back. Tannehill rolling out to his right, thrown deep to Kenny Stills, and he comes down with it in the end zone for a touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. A great drive to open up the second half for the Dolphins, a 36-yard touchdown for Kenny Stills, and now it is a 3-point lead. The Dolphins would attempt the PAT, but unfortunately it ends up getting blocked. A common occurrence for the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins with the ball back now, and on the 2nd and 4, Kenyon Drake goes right up the middle, makes a spin move, and gets a first down. 3rd and 2 for the Miami Dolphins. Tannehill, quick drop back, completes a pass over the middle to Danny Amendola, who is trying to break a couple tackles, but is unfortunately down at the 31-yard line. The Miami Dolphins with a new set of markers. Shotgun formation for the Miami Dolphins. Tannehill rolling out to his right, looking to scramble here. Got to be one defender, and makes a nice juke move, and is hit out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And we have an injury on the play. Ramon Foster there will leave the game. 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. Handoff, Kenyon Drake right up the middle. Has a couple defenders to beat, and he powers his way into the end zone. And the Miami Dolphins will take their first lead of the game. A great drive by the Miami Dolphins. Now give them the lead, and all they have to do is just make this PAT here. The game will now sit 21-17 as the PAT is good, and the Cincinnati Bengals have the ball back from the 30-yard line. Dalton scanning for the receiver there, and that one is completed to A.J. Green on a nice curl route. 2 touchdown passes for Andy Dalton, and he is trying to have a third here today. Shotgun formation again for the Cincinnati Bengals. Dalton rolling out to his left, finds Tyler Boyd for a first down and more as he is into field goal range for their kicker. Heavy tight end set for the Cincinnati Bengals. Dalton with the drop back, and he is taken down for a sack. William Hayes with 3 sacks on the day. An impressive performance by William Hayes, and the Dolphins pass rush is getting to Andy Dalton, and that is going to end out the 3rd quarter between the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. The score is 21-17 with the Miami Dolphins coming back to take the lead. We're now going to look at the standings from around the league for this week. In the AFC North, the Browns surprisingly lead that division with the Ravens behind them. AFC East, the Dolphins are still atop of that division there, no matter if they win or lose today. AFC West, Chargers atop, Chiefs right behind, Raiders, and then you have the Broncos. AFC South, the Titans are the only team in that division who does not have a win. NFC North, the Bears lead that division with a 4-1 record. And in the NFC East, the Eagles at our top, and the Cowboys are disappointing 1-3 to start the season. NFC West, the Rams are an impressive 5-0 with the Cardinals being 3-2. The Panthers lead the NFC South with the Falcons right behind them with a 3-2 record. Getting back to the game now, beginning of the 4th quarter. Cincinnati Bengals and Andy Dalton have the ball back, but Andy Dalton is taken down again for a sack. That is William Hayes again. An impressive performance by Hayes, as we mentioned earlier. Dalton now with the snap, 1st and 10, and he goes down once more. That is the Von Gautshaw there, and he gets his first sack on the day. This is just a sack fest for both teams. The Dolphins now have the ball back, 3rd and 11, and now Tannehill goes down. That is Bradshaw's first sack on the day, and it is a sack fest here in Miami. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Dalton scanning, throwing deep. That is A.J. Green, and it is caught in the end zone. That is over Demarius Randall, and that is the last thing the Miami Dolphins wanted. That was an area of focus for them. They need the safeties to communicate with the cornerbacks to tell them what they're doing there, and those guys clearly did not communicate. That is Demarius Randall and Bobby McCain who allowed that score. The Dolphins now have the ball back with 7:33 remaining in the 4th, and that is an absolute beautiful strike by Ryan Tannehill to Devon Parker. 3rd and 13, the Miami Dolphins now have to face with 6:12 remaining in the 4th quarter. Tannehill being pressured, and that one is picked off as it bounces off of Sean Williams' hands into the defensive lineman Bradshaw, and he has a sack and an interception. All he needs is a forced fumble to make it a trifecta. That pass is thrown deep again to A.J. Green, and Bobby McCain is having a hard time covering A.J. Green in the second half. The Bengals are only up by 3 points, but they are in red zone territory. Dalton looking, finds a receiver over the middle, and that is incomplete. The referees will rule it incomplete there. Second and goal for the 7-yard line. Dalton scanning again, and that one is picked off by Raekwon McMillan there in the end zone, and he's going to just be tackled down there, and that will put the Miami Dolphins at the 20-yard line. A big play from the young middle linebacker Raekwon McMillan out of Ohio State. Second and 5 for the Miami Dolphins here. Tannehill being pressured, throws it deep to Albert Wilson on the outside, but he could not come down with the ball there, and the Dolphins now faced with a 3rd and 5. Tannehill and this Dolphins offense looking to get a first down here, and that one is picked off by Sean Williams, who has been all over the field today, and he's going to try to run this one back for a pick 6, juking out Ryan Tannehill out of his shoes, and he steps out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Dalton now with the snap, scanning the field, all day to throw. Will finally throw it to A.J. Green in the back of the end zone, and he catches that touchdown, and that is going to increase the lead to 10 points. 31-21 is your score now. Shotgun formation for the Miami Dolphins offense. Devontae Parker on the outside, looking to go deep. Tannehill is taken down again for a sack, and that is about the 10th sack the Miami Dolphins have given up today. 4th and 20, Tannehill being pressured from the right and goes down, and the Dolphins will turn the ball over. That is the 11th sack on the day, and that is going to end out the game between the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. A poor performance by the offensive line. Tannehill didn't really have enough time to throw the ball, and the Dolphins offensive line and the offense have to come prepared next week against their opponent. This is the Miami Dolphins' first loss in a while, and they will have to rebound against their next week opponent. We're going to head down to the field to get a couple words from Ryan Tannehill, but I would like to thank you guys for watching, and tune in next time for Dolphins Daily.
A lot went wrong for us, I think offensively, we didn't move the football. We didn't get the ball in the end zone. They're a good team. They're going to score points, and as an offense, we didn't do our job and put the ball in the end zone. So just have to take a real good reflective look at this game and what we didn't do well and learn from it, and then get ready for the next one. Yeah, it was a good first quarter. Obviously, bad taste in our mouth after Sunday, but you have to take a step back from that and say, okay, we're in a good spot. We just have to keep pressing. First quarter is done. We're 0-0 starting the second quarter, and we've got to find a way to finish this week 1-0. Yeah, we just got to finish drives. That's what it comes down to. I feel like at certain points, whether it was a 3rd down we should have converted, or we were moving the ball well and then had a penalty, just have to be able to sustain those drives and get the ball in the end zone.